Wouldn't you love to see a game where your least favorite player had a chance to get his back broken? Of course you would. Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup. All right, seriously, stop laughing, all of you. All of the games we've talked about have been rough equivalents to other established games. Quidditch, although certainly owing debts to rugby and soccer, is a completely invented sport with a lot of unique concepts, not the least of which is airborne gameplay, bringing a completely different dynamic to passing, striking, and the defense. There are 3 suspended goals instead of a traditional one, and of course, the snitch. In World Cup, once a certain momentum is achieved, you can change play from chaser to seeker and try to catch the elusive flying gold ball. Catching it gives the team 150 points and ends the game. It's enough to erase a massive debt, but not every lead. If you're losing by 160 points to catch the snitch, you still lose. See? You're warming up to it, aren't you? Mischief managed. Twisted Metal. There is no sport that needed more of a makeover than the Demolition Derby. Sounds awesome on paper. A bunch of rednecks ram their cars into each other until only one's running. The reality? After a really fast start, things tend to settle into one of 3 barely functioning jalopies denting each other's fenders for 30 minutes until they run out of gas. Twisted Metal gave us what we've always wanted. Huge maps, insane weapons, awesome vehicles, and carnage. Sweet, supple carnage. Sure, there have been a billion different racing games that value precision and turning and acceleration, even some that coupled that with knocking enemy racers back into the pack. This boiled it down to a simple essence that lives in anyone who's ever been to one or more state fairs: wanton destruction on the grandest scale possible. I long for a day when this is reality. I can smell the fried dough now. So I don't know if they ever made a video game out of it, but there was a tabletop game I used to love called Blood Bowl. Did you ever see that from Games Workshop?
No.
It was had a grid that was a football field, and you had like orcs versus humans, and you were able to cast spells, and you had like a ruler to indicate how far, and you rolled dice to see if you'd nail it or not. I love that game.
My favorite thing is that the chat room was like trying to figure out what number 1 was going to be.
They were getting ready to riot.
They were getting ready to riot, and then they saw it was Twisted Metal, and they were like, we didn't even know we wanted this, but we're so excited that this is the first one. So thanks to everyone who helped populate this list on our subreddit at twitgameon.reddit.com, specifically Fat Batman, Dark Demon 42, Bob Callie 99, and Trivially Travis. But if you think they're full of it, tweet what we missed to @twitgameon on Twitter.
I love that you were able to say all those names without
Trivially
smirking.
Travis.
That was very good. Man alive, this episode has just flown by, but we have a ton more hooch headed your way, Boss Hog. Veronica and I sit down with Felicia Day of the Guild to talk about the enjoyment and creation of video games you know and love, and we'll hear some big announcements as well. Plus, we talk to the mad geniuses behind Draw Something and demonstrate the game with the help of Romany Malco from the 40-Year-Old Virgin, Weeds, and FX's Unsupervised. But first, we have to deliver you a message so important, somebody paid us to say it. This episode of Game On is brought to you by Ford, featuring Curve Control. Curve Control is part of a whole suite of safety technologies on the 2013 Ford Taurus. It helps drivers maintain control of their vehicle when they're taking a curve too quickly. Here's how it works. Curve Control is always looking for potential problems by measuring how quickly the vehicle's turning versus how quickly you're trying to turn it. It pays attention to the roll rate, yaw rate, lateral acceleration, wheel speed, a steering angle, all this stuff I don't even understand. The point is, it runs 100 calculations every second. When it finds a problem, it'll rapidly reduce engine torque, it'll apply 4-wheel braking, it'll slow the vehicle up to 10 miles an hour in 1 second, and it works on dry or wet pavement. Curve Control helps protect you while driving on curves, and it's one of several new driver assist technologies available on the 2013 Ford Taurus. You can find out more at ford.com/cars/Taurus.
All right, well, you know our guests today from a million amazing projects such as The Guild, Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog, Dollhouse, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
We could just keep on going for another 30 minutes straight.
A very, very long
read
time.
Straight for the IMDb.
The wonderful, the fabulous Felicia Day. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So we both just got back from WonderCon. Can you tell our audience a little bit about what we announced there, what you announced there especially?
Yeah, we had a panel that was very, very packed, where I got to announce what has put the bags under my eyes, which is a brand new YouTube channel. It's called Geek and Sundry, and we posted a trailer, and we talked about the 6 brand new shows we're going to be having on the channel starting April 2nd. So it was really cool to get it over with and announce so it doesn't have to be a secret anymore.
Yeah, we haven't covered tabletop gaming too much on the show, even though I think a lot of our viewers might be interested in that. Can you tell us about Will's show, Will Wheaton's show?
Yeah, so there's a show called Tabletop, and I went to Will when I was pitching the slate to YouTube, and I was like, hey, would you like to do a show? And I was talking about a little bit about D&D, and he said, let's do a show about tabletop gaming, which he's really passionate about, and he's been doing for, over 20 years now. So this is like a 30-minute YouTube show where he plays tabletop games with other people. And, I'm not I wasn't a board game player before we started this show, but I played a little bit just on iPad, and that actually got me hooked more into the actual show itself. So because a lot of these games are being transferred to iPad, and casual gamers are finding them, and then I think people are kind of reverse discovering them as a social activity. So I'm really excited about the show because every week 4 people will get together and play a different game every week of this sort of like Catan and Pandemic and Dragon Age RPG. So it's a big variety of games.
So, Felicia, you obviously are one of the pioneers of new media entertainment, especially scripted entertainment. I have to imagine that you get a lot of people who want to get in on this this opportunity, I guess would be the best way to put it. Do you tell people, like, has the window passed? Is it too late for somebody to get started? What advice do you give to somebody who's trying to break into the new media?
I mean, I personally think there's no better time to be breaking in right now. If you see, my channel is part of a YouTube initiative where they funded about 100 channels to do slates of programming under certain verticals and sort of types of content. But at the same time, Hulu is invested a ton of money in more high-budget TV-like shows, and there's rumors about Amazon getting into original content, and of course I work with Microsoft on the Guild, and I know they have a bunch of things on the horizon video-wise. So right now is the best time in the world to be making video because you can be making it wherever you live. You can be uploading it to fans wherever they are, and you can find an audience. It's there is a lot of content out there, but if you're making something that's unique and touches something in people to watch, you can find something without the middlemen that have been kind of plaguing us for a long time now. So it's literally the best time ever to create something, I think.
So season 5 of The Guild, I know, is going to be on Geek and Sundry as well. Are you adding any new content to that, or are you just going to replay the episodes?
Yeah, for The Guild, we actually are editing all the episodes of seasons 1 through 4 into movies. It's similar to what we have on Netflix, but it'll be in high definition, and we'll be doing like an annotated gag reel. So like every episode section will have like click out to new gag reel that nobody has ever seen. In addition, that I'm crazy, but I'm going through and like annotating every 8 seconds is a little behind the scenes footage for all those. I don't know. You know what? It never needs to be easy. Felicia, that's literally what I'm going to be doing after I leave right now, doing season 4. And then every episode of season 5 will have an extra